Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker Sir. Speaker Sir, I'd like to thank the Honourable Member for this question that he's asked. And I wish to bring two very important pieces of good news to this Honourable House first. First, Mr. Speaker Sir, the United Kingdom has officially confirmed that it will maintain the UK global tariff and increase the raw sugar import quota by 65,000 tonnes from 1st of January 2026. Fiji will continue to enjoy the duty-free access under the UK Pacific Economic Partnership Agreement for the next 8 years. Mr. Speaker, Sir, this is a major diplomatic and a trade victory for Fiji and a clear vote of confidence in our sugar industry. Second, after the rigorous testing and trials of the Rarawai mill will resume crushing from tomorrow, 5th of December, 2025. Mr. Speaker, Sir, this is a strong signal that our rehabilitation efforts are delivering results and that this government is getting the industry moving again. Mr. Speaker, Sir, now the answer to his question. You want to listen? This question raises a critical issue, the shortage of reliable labor in the sugar industry. Mr. Speaker, Sir, the ministry has made every effort to mobilize local labor locally. However, time and time again, our growers have been left vulnerable, and in this case, a number of laborers do not fulfill their obligation and leave before the harvesting season concludes. It is important to note, Mr. Speaker, that this challenge is not unique in the sugar industry. Almost every sector in Fiji, particularly agriculture, construction, and hospitality, is facing similar workforce shortages. And in agriculture, the challenge is even more pronounced as entry-level position attracts minimal wages and work is physically demanding. This situation has been compounded by an ongoing out-migration of our people to Australia and New Zealand under the seasonal employment schemes. This is also a part of a global trend where developed economics are drawn workers from developing nations, leaving critical industries like sugar short of skilled and reliable labor. According to the 2023 report of the Organization of Economic Cooperation Development, there is a long-term global decline in agricultural employment, driven by shrinking rural population and migration of younger generation to cities or overseas. The report also highlights that many countries are struggling to attract and retain workers for physically demanding, low-paid seasonal agricultural jobs. Fiji is not alone. Mr. Speaker, said the labor shortage in agriculture is not unique in Fiji. It is a global crisis affecting both developed and developing economies. Canada currently faces a shortage of over 87,000 farm workers, projected to exceed 100,000 by 2030. In the United States, the deficit is estimated 2.4 million agricultural workers by next year. In Chile, the industry reports a shortfall of 300,000 workers each harvest season, risking the loss of up to a quarter of the national crops. Across the European Union, more than 2.5 million workers have exited the agriculture over the past decade, with only 11.9% of farm managers now under the age of 40. These figures are clearly demonstrate that agriculture worldwide in facing the severe labor shortage pressures. Fiji's own labor challenges must therefore be understood within the broader global context and addressed through the targeted, innovative, and forward-looking solutions. While we are not replacing our local workforce, it has become clear that we must complement it strategically to reduce the burden on farmers. Our collaboration with the Fiji Correction Services has provided some relief, but it remains insufficient to meet the overall labor demand across all the mill areas. Mr. Speaker said the sugar industry is facing a severe and escalating labor shortage that affects every stage of production, from farmland preparation, planting, harvesting, and delivery. Growers are struggling with local labor that is increasingly inconsistent, costly, and often sourced from distant communities. Limited mechanization, particularly in a hilly and difficult terrain where many of our cane farms are situated. Harvesting gangs are unable to secure sufficient workers, leading to some instances to abundant, delayed harvesting and significant financial losses for the growers. Mr. Speaker said this labor crisis poses a direct threat to farm production and the long-term sustainability to our growers. In this context, Mr. Speaker said that the government has begun exploring a government-to-government, G2G, labor cooperation model with Bangladesh. My ministry is currently developing a framework under our bilateral arrangement, which will submit to Cabinet for consideration. Mr. Speaker, in the recent visit undertaken by myself, my Permanent Secretary and the CEO of Growers Council was both timely and high protective, providing valuable insights into how this model can strengthen labor availability for our industry. During the mission, we had the opportunity to visit the Bangladesh sugar industry, engage directly with the sugarcane farmers, observe firsthand the availability, discipline, production of Bangladeshi laborers across the various agricultural operations, hold a formal discussion with the Ministry of Expatriate Welfare and Overseas Employment on the labor cooperation. The visit, one of their labor upskilling certification institutions, was gaining valuable insights on how they prepare their workers for deployment overseas. Mr. Speaker, the government of Bangladesh has expressed a strong, genuine willingness to support with a structured supply of labor, particularly for agriculture and the sugar industry. The readiness, professionalism, and well-organized deployment system were clearly evident during our engagements. They view this cooperation not merely as a labor partnership, but as a part of a broader commitment to deepen and strengthen the long-standing bilateral relation between our two nations. Mr. Speaker, I also wish to emphasize that this concept has already demonstrated practical success on the ground. A small pilot group of 8 Bangladeshi workers engaged through my private company is currently assisting farms in Lambasa. These workers have displayed exceptional work ethics, discipline, and reliability. Their contribution has improved not only the productivity of my farm, but also supported several neighboring farms, where growers also observed greater consistent efficiency and timely completion of the field operation. Mr. Speaker, we are now developing a dedicated labor recruitment model specifically tailored for the needs for sugar industry. This model is carefully designed to complement and not replace our local workforce, provide growers with a stable, consistent, and reliable pool of labor, particularly during the peak harvesting periods when shortages are most severe, and ensure strict adherence to all the Fiji labor, immigration, and welfare laws, with safeguards to protect both workers and growers. Mr. Speaker, the proposed recruitment model will be administered through the Sugarcane Growers Council in close partnership with the Ministry for Employment and Ministry for Multiethnic Affairs and Sugar Industry. This arrangement is particularly suited to our larger growers who require consistent and dependable labor supply. To safeguard all parties, the model will operate under a formal MOU vetted, approved by the Ministry for Employment and the ongoing coordination with the Ministries of Immigration and Sugar to ensure compliance, transparency, and effective implementation is there. Mr. Speaker, during the upcoming off-season, we'll also explore the establishment of a second pilot labor model specifically designed for small and medium-sized growers. Under this initiative, we intend to utilize one of the FSC's accommodation facilities other than Reki or Bar to house approximately 20 seasonal foreign laborers. With the support of FSC and the Growers Council, a work roster will be developed to assist the local farmers who require help in spraying, planting, weeding, and other farm operations during the off-season. Mr. Speaker said during the crushing season, these workers will be organized into 2 manual harvesting gangs to support growers facing labor shortages. At present, Mr. Speaker said, harvesting assistance through the Fiji Correction Service is costly and requires substantial investment in risk mitigation and mobilization of protocols for deployment of inmates. The pilot model aims to provide a more practical, consistent, and cost-effective alternative for our growers. Mr. Speaker said, the reality before us is clear. If the Fiji sugar industry is to remain viable or competitive, it must evolve. A structured and well-regulated, ethically managed migrant laborers program is no longer a choice. It is now a necessity brought about the persistent and deepening labor shortages. We have both the mandate and the responsibility to act. Our approach must protect growers from rising labor pressures, safeguard workers' welfare, and secure long-term sustainability of the industry. Mr. Speaker, our engagement with the government of Bangladesh has highly been encouraging. It marks a significant step towards addressing one of the biggest industry challenges. The proposed G2G labor model provides a structured labor, transparent, and a compliant system that will ensure growers have access to reliable labor. Thank you, sir.